Hello, internet world. Hello, shark world. It's a warning for Josh and the world watching that, should we get a little bit hazy on the Wi-Fi, we'll be okay. We'll always come back, but I think we might be all right. Hey there, welcome to Sharkcast Pod. We are live. We are with the great Josh Bolling. My name is Sam Shinazi, OG 2015. Sharkcast Pod brought to you by Dyson Logistics, the Royal Motor Yacht Club in Port Hacking, and Jason Hawes at Cripps & Cripps Real Estate. And it's a big day in the NRL world because the draw has dropped, and we knew some of it going into it, but now it's all being revealed. Some people love this day. Some people think it's ridiculous. There's a lot in between. We're here to have a friendly chat about our beloved Sharks. Now, Josh, I'm going to start off with what no one's talking about, and that's the preseason. Preseason has been announced. We got Thursday night football. I think we're playing the first game of NRL this year in a lot of ways. We're playing in Canberra on a Thursday in the preseason challenge. So that's kind of cool. And then, you know what? I've mucked it up already. We're playing the Warriors first at home on February the 7th. Warriors at home preseason. Then on Thursday night, Raiders in Canberra, February 13th. So a couple of good games there. You'd think the California-bound team will play against the Raiders in the second week of the preseason, and possibly the first week against the Warriors. At home will just be the younger fellas, the fringies and those kind of things. But of course, we are here to talk about both NRL and NRLW, because we love NRLW despite the rumours that we don't for some reason. And Josh, I can tell you that it's not the easiest of draws. Fox Sports have already said that we have the 12th, like we're ranked 12th as far as easy to hardest, and we're 12th. And there's a bit of travel involved. So you better get your passport and your frequent flyers and your hotels and everything else ready. In the first 9 weeks, Josh, we go to California, we go to North Queensland, we go to Western Australia, and we go to Brisbane. Now, if that's got you worried about the effect on the team, I can tell you that we have Melbourne in Melbourne. I think it's around 17. Then we don't leave Sydney, with the exception of a game in Gosford, so don't leave New South Wales after June 29th. So it's a pretty good run home for the boys in the black, white and blue. You've had a look at the draw. What are your initial thoughts? What are you thinking? What's going on? I've been doing all the talking.
I think it's a good draw. It might lend itself to more, I guess you could say, like bigger challenges might lead to bigger rewards, I guess is how I'm looking at it. I'm trying to take that positive view of there's some harder games than we've had in the previous years. I know we've been attacked for some of our easier draws over the last few seasons. So I'm looking forward to having a few more games against some bigger quality sides that may make us lift, or it could see maybe a drop in a position or two. So I'm not quite sure how it's going to go, but I'm choosing to go positive and saying the better teams we play, the better we will be. So that's how I'm kind of looking at it. At the end of the day, you've got to win any game you can, or every game if possible, as many as you can, and it doesn't matter who's in front of you.
Okay, I like that. Very mature. Again, folks, if we go a bit fuzzy on the TV, don't worry, we'll bounce back. Now, we know we're opening up against the Panthers in California. Is
Vegas.
It California? It's California, yeah.
It's Vegas.
Nevada. Las Vegas, Nevada. It's not California, right?
No.
I'm an idiot.
We're going to pull you up on it before, but I'll let you go.
I think I knew that. I just, for some reason, because I'm thinking LA and it's just across here. It's, 4-hour drive or whatever. Nevada. The Sharks are opening in Nevada against Penrith. And then we go to Townsville. Now, there is a week off in between. So there's not a lot of major concern there. But it's still, as we said at the start of the show, a bit of travel happening. Uh, Now, the Sharks have released a lot of nice information on their website if you want to go check them out. I'm going to steal a little bit from there. So we play at home in round 3 against the Rabbitohs, and then we have the Bulldogs as well. So 2 home games in a row, which is awesome. We're playing in Perth against Manly. Now, we're taking a home game there, Josh, against Manly. I don't know if the Sharks have the right to choose the team or not that they're going to play, but what's your thoughts on the fact that it's Manly? Does that concern you? Is it better over there? Is it worse? Is it indifferent?
Maybe with the curse. So I know we've kind of broken it in the last few years, but
Yeah.
Maybe playing over there might just change things up. It's a bit annoying that we're losing, one of our big rivals at a home ground there and having to play it at their joint a few weeks later. So it doesn't worry me too much. The last time we went over there, we had a good win, so can only go from that.
So we know about Magic Round. We got the first opening game there. You can fly in, watch the lads, and then just relax after they beat the Eels. That'll be good. I can see you having a very long weekend there, Josh, at Magic Round. 6 o'clock Friday, then business is all done. We have the buys around 13, 18, and 25. What are your thoughts on this, Josh? Particularly that round 25. Good, bad, indifferent.
I really like that. Something I was going to bring up. I think last year we got the buys a little too early. I prefer them as late in the season as possible, mid-season when some of the guys are banged up, and if you kind of know your position, if we're in a good position, that's a good way to just rest up and recuperate for the business point of the season. So I'm really happy with the buys that we've gotten this year. I know a few like Melbourne have got one in round 2. So they lose one straight out the gate, basically, at the start of the season. So I much prefer ours than some of the other, like the Titans have round 1. That's right. Pretty frustrating.
Sean says tougher than normal draw, might toughen us up for the business end of the season, which I think is what Josh was hinting at as well. So good stuff there, Sean. Thanks for being in touch. If I go over to the YouTube page, there's some people there watching, which is awesome. Chad says, bring on Vegas, baby. Ed says, ouch for the Waz. Our friend Ash, who's got the great Instagram, you have to follow all things Quail Sharks, was hoping the Perth game would be closer to Vegas. Our friend Dana's watching. A lot of people watching. Hello, everyone watching. Actually, Dana says, hoping for a sneaky birthday trip to Perth to see them smash the husband's team. Yes, Dana married a Manly fan.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's a good guy, though. He's a good guy. Greasy said, hey, it's my birthday, lunchtime beers. Hey, happy birthday, Greasy Smitty. Great stuff.
Happy birthday.
I assume that's for today. Anyway, we appreciate everyone being in touch. Please jump on in the comments. You can even jump on and have a chat. If you promise not to swear, there's a link in there, but no pressure to do that. This is going to be an audio podcast later on, so that's the main reason we're doing this, but we wanted to jump on and say hello to everyone live. Now, yeah, rounds 13, 18, 25, Josh, I'm with you. The buys, they're pretty handy. You want them later rather than earlier, surely. Tough on the road the first 10 weeks, we spoke about it. Then we can start to heal, and I don't mind that at all. If we look at the people at Fox Sports, so I said that we've got the 12th hardest draw. So we're playing teams from the top 8 last year 13 times, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
We faced the top 4 teams 5 times. Bottom 9 teams 11 times. Bottom 4, 5. It's not a great deal of difference there. This is who we play twice, okay? Bulldogs, Manly, Melbourne, Newcastle, Cowboys, Rabbitohs, Dragoons, and Roosters. So we're playing these teams twice. Bulldogs, don't mind that. Seagulls, Storm, Knights, love it. Cowboys, whatever. Rabbitohs, whatever. Dragons, love it. Roosters, So there's some good and bad there. What are your thoughts there?
I think we get the Roosters just on the precipice of when Cheese and the halfback Sam Walker come back. So they may still be out by the time. I think that we're round 12. I think we've got them. I think they were predicted around the 10 to 13, 14 return. So we might get them just before those two return, which would be good. Obviously, when we get them later in the year, they should be back. So I don't mind that. We usually have pretty good clashes with the Roosters. We have had some good games with them in the last few years. I think we match up well with them. So, and I also think they'll be struggling with a few of the guys they've lost or are missing. So that's not as worrisome as it has been probably in the last few years, getting them twice. Melbourne, if we're going to have to get them or Penrith twice. I'd probably rather Melbourne.
I think the thing that we're forgetting about when you and I at least talk about who we're going to get is that we're a top 4 team. So really, exactly. On our day, we should be able to beat anyone, anywhere. We're getting the world's second best prop. So, I put that out there. This is who we're playing twice because it's important, but also they're looking at us going, we've got to play Cronulla 100%. Twice. So exactly. That's the positive there. So that's what's going on with the strength of the draw. If we get into the draw itself, Joshy, have a bit of chat about that. So we know we're playing Penrith in Nevada, not in California, in Nevada. And then we go 2 weeks later, a bit under 2 weeks later, up to Townsville. It's a Saturday 5:30 game. Classic Townsville time slot. And it'll be still hot. Yeah, that's a bummer. Good analysis there, Josh. And then a week later, we come home to the greatest place in the world, and we play Souths again. It'll be warmish. It'll be a Saturday 3 o'clock game. So should be a bumper crowd for that one. Souths will be energized by a new coach. Latrell's back. Is there an English halfback on his way as well? I think there's a bunch of things happening with that team.
Wayne Bennett.
So it'll be tough.
Yeah.
But
that'll be a good day, though. That'll be great. Saturday afternoon. Fresh like season. Still exciting. Yeah, it'll be Souths always travel. That'll be sold out a week before.
Now, we will probably on another episode I think we'll do a fun thing like where we're going to win, where we're going to lose, what do we think is going to happen. But round 1 in Nevada against Penrith, who, with or without their players, are going to be tough. Cowboys away week 2, not easy. Where are we going to be at, Josh, coming into our first home game, Souths? Round 3, is it going to be must win, or will we be sweet?
I think that's way too early to start talking must wins. Maybe if it's round 5 and you're one win or 2 wins, then it's a bit of drama. But
okay,
I feel confident about that opening game. By the way,
yeah, right.
That game.
It won't matter to you, Josh, because you'll be high on Coors Light and money spilling out of your pockets if you've still got pockets left. Okay, round 4, second game at home in 2 weeks. So, Bulldogs Saturday night 7:35, and that'll be a nice tough game. But again, I don't mind that at home, Joshy, playing the Doggies. And then we move on, slightly shorter turnaround. We got Thursday night football, round 5, against the Raiders. Now, I like the fact that it won't be icy cold. 3rd of April, that's manageable, right, in Canberra? So what are your thoughts on that one?
I like getting Canberra out of the way early, typically, just because I feel like they grow into seasons. I feel like they're just one of those sides that everyone writes off at the start and they struggle, and then they always come back late season. So I always like to get them out of the way early. I'm not too concerned about Canberra, though. I think they're going to struggle next year.
Okay. Now, on the home game situation, Adam says, how do we end up with no Shark Park games between rounds 4 and round 11? And I can't really answer that with any clarity. I mean, if you say that's what's happening, that's what's happening, and I'm not sure why. But appreciate you being in touch. And I guess that's a I'm sure it's true. That's a tough stretch that you've got to get through, because at home, it's always better to be at home, no matter how good you are away. So then we go from Canberra to Perth. So there is a bit of travelling happening here. That's only round 6. Oh, man. So Saturday, that's local time for us in Sydney, Eastern eastern side of Australia. 3 o'clock Saturday against Manly at Optus Stadium, the big stadium where Coldplay play. And is that where we played the other year, Josh? Did we play there?
Yeah, against Souths, yeah.
That was the Horoti game?
It was.
Okay, I don't mind that. I don't mind Sharkies travelling. I'd rather watch them in Cronulla, but they tend to do these things pretty good. Like they have success on the road under Fitzgibbon. So that'll be part of a double header, I believe. So there'll be some excitement there. Get them ready for Magic round.
About the Optus deal, I guess you could say. I'm assuming we're getting paid for that. Are we getting money out of that for taking the game there, or?
Yeah, it's a home game. Yeah, it's a home game you take away, so something's going on. There'll be a little bit of casserole there somewhere, and that's the reason they'd agree to it. They wouldn't do it otherwise. I don't know if we're part of a deal there or not. We'll have to let Dino and Mace answer those ones, but there's no Coffs Harbour this year as a spoiler, and that deal is now up. So it was a 5-year deal, I think, or whatever it was, 3 or 5 years. That's up. I can't confirm whether it's Penrith, whether it's Perth or not for the next 5 years. Who knows? We'll find out. If someone knows, bless you, and you can let us know. Then we go to Newcastle, so more travelling, round 7. And I always like playing Newcastle. I don't know why. I think in my mind they're just not easy beats, but I feel like probably since 2015 on, we've had that knack to really give it to them. I know we've had a few losses there, but I feel like whenever we play Newcastle, it's like, we're going to win this one, which isn't always true. But what are your thoughts on that one? Travelling away to Newcastle.
I actually feel kind of the opposite. I'm always really concerned about Newcastle. I feel like at home, I'm like, no worries. But just something about playing in Newcastle always worries me. Mm-hmm. Just like the big crowd, they always turn up regardless. And
they do.
Ponga puts on a show. Like, he's just one of those kind of guys that seems to always have a banger against us. Like, he could be quiet for weeks and then you'll have 2 tries and a try assist and kick goals from all over the place. And he just always seems to do it against us. So that's look, I think we'll win that game, but I'm always a little
it was tough work last year remembering Golden Point, so I don't mean any disrespect. And that's a Sunday 4 o'clock game, and there's quite a few. We have to do all that mathematics as well, but it seems like there's quite a few afternoon games, which ideally suits our game style. And Daniel says, "G'day, Sharkcast, certainly making the workday easier." That is awesome. So thank you for tuning in, Daniel, and appreciate your support. Now, this fella who we're going to put up on the screen is very excited because his favourite team is coming to Melbourne, and that's exciting. And we'll be seeing him. I've made him a promise that we're going to go to Melbourne, Josh. So if you're in, you're in. If you're not, we'll have a shandy for you. And he also says, well, we got him. I'm with you, brother. I'm sick of Panther Town too. And you know what? They're an amazing team. In however many years' time, we're going to look back and go, you know what? As much as we despise them, they were unbelievable. But I'm with you. I'm not a fan of Panther Town either. So a week later, Joshy, we're heading to Leichhardt Oval. Classic. Sunday, 4 o'clock, playing the very much on paper improved West Tigers team. Drummers there last season for us early in the year at Leichhardt. We thought we'd swim it in, man. We thought this is going to be a walk in the park, and it wasn't, and we lost, and it was the end of the world for a little while. I see a bit of retribution there. I see Fitzy getting out the videotape from last year and going, look what happened last year.
I'm really excited for this one. I have a lot of Tigers mates, really close mates who are Tigers fans. I've already been messaged by 3 separate ones about 20 minutes after the draw saying, Leichhardt, we're on, we're going, take the day off work on Monday. Like, it's the best. Like, I know it's not a great ground, I get that, but the pubs around it and the vibe is always so much fun, and usually they're an easy beat, so that's always good going in thinking you're going to win. Well, might not be the same this year, but that'll be a cracker, I think.
Yeah, I had a look at their team on paper. On paper, there is vast improvement, and good luck to them. And there's nothing wrong with not great grounds, by the way, Josh, because we like not great grounds too. On the Insta, we want to say hello to Merch King. Adam Barnes is watching. Hopefully he's approving of all this. And our friend Ash, All Things Crown Shark, says, Melbourne, I'm in. We won't back down. I like it. So, yeah, that'll be a challenge. West Tigers. Now, then we go to Magic Round. And we open Magic Round. Friday, May 2nd, 6 o'clock. Josh, are you cool with the 6 o'clock? Does the fact that we're opening Magic Round take care of the fact that we're in a dodgy time slot? Is it a dodgy time slot at Magic Round?
Well, I've never been to Magic Round, so I can't say on the vibe or whatever, but I guess everyone's fresh. I guess like the crowd, no one's hungover or people aren't sick of it.
Well, there is women's origin the night before.
Is there? Okay, well then I'll take that back. But I mean it's fine. I think it might be for the team. It might be good get in, get out. Like we're not sitting around, in the mini Vegas of teams everywhere. What could go wrong? Like fly in, get the 2 points, and get out of there, and sit back and enjoy the rest of the weekend and watch all the teams bash each other. And the most important thing is that we have the best version of the field. The grass won't be torn to shreds.
Oh, nice.
It'll be the safest, and it'll be.
This is why you're on, Josh. You just see everything. I didn't think about the grass. That's great. That's true. Very true.
Yeah, we played halfway through. I think with the Saturday 7:30
maybe
last year. So
5:30 or 7:30. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty. It was getting torn up, and like they do a great job considering they have 8 teams playing 80 minutes of rugby league.
Sure.
8 games. So I think we had that the first year when we versed the Titans. I think we kicked it off on the Thursday night. A similar thing. So rip it up.
Did we?
Whatever you need to do, boys. Yeah.
Okay.
First one, I think.
Okay. So we're not unfamiliar with this territory. Then we go to a place that we classically don't like, but lately it's been fine. Again, Sunday, 4 o'clock. I mean, the sponsors are going to love all this mainstream
9 game
free-to-air, exposure. Brookvale Oval, 4 Pines, it's now known as. 4 o'clock against Manly. It's going to be tough. If Turbo's playing, it's going to be tough over there. Let's not kid ourselves.
Did we miss both? Did we play Manly twice last year?
I think we beat them again, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, we did, but they were turboless. I'm pretty sure. At least one of the games, they were turboless, and we've been pretty lucky with turbo appearances against us. Whenever he has played, he has absolutely dominated us. So maybe a little touch wood, just a little hamstring strain for those 2 weeks we have him this year wouldn't be too bad.
Kobe's saying at Manly is going to be an easy win. So there you go. There's already confidence there.
I like it.
So 6 nights later, this is a big one, Josh. This is a big, tasty one. I can already feel it, man. At home, which is at the moment called Sharks Stadium. Whether that stays...
That's because of the new laws, right? With the
they're chasing a new sponsor. Whether they get one for the amount of money they want or not, who knows? But worst case, Shark Stadium. I don't hate it. Saturday, 17th of May, Melbourne Storm at Cronulla. Always tasty, especially at Cronulla. Oh yeah, that's going to be a beauty. That one's got me actually really excited. Months and months and months away. Saturday night, 7:30. I like that. I like that vibe. It suits us.
That's a perfect time slot for these two teams at this stadium. I think that 7:30 on a cold night, Shark Park, these two teams that typically have not liked each other. We've had some battles. They smashed us in the finals last year. I want revenge. There's so many storylines. They all just write themselves. This is just quintessential Shark Storm game.
Pappenhausen didn't come to Cronulla, but he was never coming anyway. 17th of May, it's starting to get cool at Shark Park, no doubt about that. You're probably not necessarily beaning it up, although you might, depending on how the season's going, but it's getting colder. It's getting more beautiful, depending on what your vibe is. Now, again, depending on, as Josh said at the start of the show, who is playing for the Roosters. Saturday night, 7:35 p.m. Again, a big-time feel for some big-time teams. Roosters at... Well, it says TBA, Josh. What's that about?
Yeah.
Well, hold the phone. Hey.
I wonder what's going on there.
Is that because there's, I don't know, some sort of something else happening at the ground around that time, or a concert, or Pink's coming out, or
Again,
anyway?
I wonder if the Roosters have one of their deals that maybe they haven't finalised yet, that they're taking a game somewhere.
I did notice there was some other TBAs in the draw for other teams. So anyway, it's away. It's not going to be at Shark Park, even though Dino wants it there. It's not going to be at Shark Park. Now, that could be anywhere, I guess. I mean, let's just say it's going to be at Allianz for now, but tough game.
Yeah, I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that this may be a pre-Origin match. This may be an Origin-affected round.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I was looking earlier, but it may be, which could be a couple of Roosters out, or maybe an Angus Crichton, a couple of those kind of guys that I can't think of anyone else, but Teddy might be there if there's an injury, like a few things like that. So they could be, if the other two are out, the two big injuries, and Angus Crichton's out, they could be maybe not as hard as you would envision just looking at that on paper.
That would be good. Now, then we have the bye, and I believe it's our first bye, Josh, round 13. So it's come at a good time. It's come at a good time for everyone. And then round 14, Saturday the 7th of June, 5:30 on a Saturday night, Warriors come to town. Warriors at Shark Stadium. Not sure if Sean Johnson will be playing or not. You never know with this guy where he's going to pop up or not. He'll probably just pop up for a bit of a laugh and go, I can do that all over again. 3 in a row against you guys. So 7th of June, getting nice and cold, 5:30 p.m. We think the Warriors might be on a bit of a decline this year, and we've got Fanua Blake playing his old team. I don't think there's going to be a lot of angst there for him. It's not like they wanted him to go or anything, so there's been no bad blood, I don't think. But it's a good motivation for him if he needs one. Hopefully he doesn't need one. So that'll be round 14. I don't mind that at all. And then, so that's a Saturday night. Then we've got a 6-day turnaround. And this is the game of the year. Here we go, Josh. Here we go. Drum roll. Thursday, 12th of June. Mark your calendars. Local derby number 1. The main derby at Shark Stadium. The one that matters the most. I like this. I like this a lot, Josh. Thursday night football. Middle of winter against your enemy. Not middle of winter. Start of winter.
Another 9 game as well. That's a couple already so far, which is really good. Good
for the sponsors, yeah.
I think that's also reflective of how we've been the last few years. It's almost like a bit of a reward. We're a good side that people, the casual might want to watch now that we've got quite a star-studded side that's going to hopefully be in the top 4 again. But besides that, I'm a traditionalist. I think every derby should be on a Sunday afternoon, or at worst a Saturday afternoon, like a 3 or 5:30. I don't like night games for derbies. There's just something about the sunshine with a derby. It just hits the spot for me. And
Interesting.
I'm not sure. I can't remember if the Dragons one is, but there's a couple of years now that we haven't had a Sunday or a day game against the Dragons at home, which is disappointing. But alas, it's a 9 game. It's free to air. Get it out of the way and enjoy the weekend with a derby win. I think will be just what the doctor ordered mid-season.
I feel like the nighttime derbies are a bit more emotional. So
yeah.
See how we go there.
The days are more fun, though, I think.
Yeah. Kobe said, read the Manly game before Tommy is going to be out. So he's really got us winning against Manly. Our friend Fraser has joined. And Kobe also says it needs to be called Shark Park as opposed to Shark Stadium. Now, I'm with you, but I can see the business sense of calling it a stadium rather than a park. But I hear you. I hear you. You're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. Now, Josh, we have around 10-day turnaround here, which is beautiful. And we go to Brisbane. A 2:00 game. You want your sunshine, you're going to get it Sunday, June 22nd, round 16 against the Broncos. Broncos, we think, will be in somewhat of a decline, although new coach, you never know how that's going to go. He could be really good for him. It's never easy up there. We know that against them. That will be, our second game at Suncorp for the year. What are your thoughts on this one, Josh?
I love this because we never verse the Broncos in the day. It's just these little things that I try and take. Like the draw is exciting, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean too much to me. It's these little things though that I take interest in. Is like getting a day game against a team we haven't played against in a day in a long time, or vice versa, and certain time slots. So playing at Suncorp Sunday afternoon, I think a much improved Broncos next year. I actually think that'll be a really good game. Sunday, bring it on. Like let's just take them down a level because I don't want the Broncos to come back.
Okay. Now, in the comment section, I'm going to throw something out, and everyone just stay calm, all right? We have one of them here.
Oh, no.
Chip. What's going on, Chip? Great to meet your acquaintance. Okay, man. That's cool. You had your say. Let's talk in a few months. Yeah. Thanks for chiming in, Chip. Appreciate you. Good luck to your season, whoever you may go for. All right, Josh. On the road again. And that is 1 week later. Sunday, 29th of June in Melbourne, my friend. Our friend Lush, all our friends down there, they're going to be pumped. They got them home last time. Correction, last time regular season. 2:00 Sunday day game, and that's going to be a big one again. Like, what a clash! Let's go.
That's another one. The Storm matchups are just always there's just something else about them. I think it's because of the aura they have and how good they've been for so long that they just mean a bit more. When you win them, they're the best ones of the season. Like even probably more than Penrith. I know we haven't beaten them in forever, but getting a win against two chances at Storm. If we could do them twice in 1 year, I don't know the last time that's ever happened, but that would.
You're probably going to need to do it 3 times to be where you want to be.
Exactly. So we saw we only do it once last year.
Well, sorry. What I mean is if you're going to beat them twice in the regular season, you're going to need to do it again, maybe. So we then have a bye, which is pretty timely in round 18. So I'm not going to call the Dragons a tough game, thanks to our friend Chip, but we got Broncos away, Melbourne away, then we got the bye. So that's pretty cool.
That's good.
And then we play on Friday, the 11th of July, 8:00 Friday night. That'll be a cold one down at Shark Park. And we're playing the Dolphins. And all you're going to see that week is the hammer going nuts.
God.
In the season just gone. That's the clip. That's the storyline. Can we stop the hammer? So from Sunday, 20th of June against Melbourne, then the next game is the 11th of July. Good break, 8:00 Friday night. Again, free to air, which the sponsors are loving. And then we have a Friday night game, 18th of July, round 20 at Shark Park, Shark Stadium, whatever you want to call it, against the Roosters. Now, you think by this point, Josh, although I think we're still in Origin territory, you'd think the Roosters might be getting their act together.
Yeah, I think so. Just the thing I've picked up here, though, after that round 18 bye, we have a lot of nice turnarounds. We have a Friday into another Friday into a Saturday, and spoilers, into a Sunday. So there's a lot of good long, at least 7-day minimum turnarounds in this little period, which I think will be really relieving for the squad because we're coming out of a tough period before that bye. There's a lot of travels, a lot of hard games. And going into those next 4 or 5 games, there's a lot of long turnarounds and not as hard of the draw's not as intense afterwards. But that Roosters game would be very interesting to see where they're at come the back end of the year with some of their boys back.
Now, on some of the comments coming through, Kobe, who's been very vocal today, and we appreciate that, sir. In regards to Chip the Dragons fan, if that's what he is, capital letters, get him out of here. OG, I'm going to say OG, our friend Nicky has joined. Shout out to our friend Retro Rugby League. He's got the amazing Instagram account with all the jerseys of all the clubs. He's one of those people, and I say that with immense respect, who's obsessed with uniform. And, we've got Clinton, we've got RCB, we've got Cameron. I don't know, you're not in that category, are you, Josh, with obsessed with...
Not really.
Yeah, you're with me. You're just like a bit more normal about the jersey. Good jersey, bad jersey. But Retro Rugby League, if you like your jerseys, man, go give him a follow because he's awesome. He's a good dude, and we'll give him a shout out. I think he might be a Chooks man himself. Apologies if I got that wrong. But a good fella nevertheless. Now, next up, Josh, round 21, we go to Gosford. So we're not going to be playing at that big empty stadium in Homebush. We're going to go to Gosford, and I don't mind that because there'll be some Sharks fans travelling. There's definitely some Sharks fans up there. Our friend Kane and Andy at Dyson Logistics, they're based up there now. And to be honest, it's probably a bit more appealing to go to Gosford than to go to Homebush. 7:35 p.m. on Saturday, 26th of July. Souths, be interesting to see where they're at this time in the season. They might be first or second, or they could be 10th, and it'll be like, ooh, you don't want to play them in the finals, that kind of, territory. So see what happens there with the Bunnies, but I don't mind that in Gosford, Josh.
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes up for the lack of Coffs Harbour. It is a bit of a, getting out of the city.
And that is an away game, I should say, an away game.
It is, but I guess it's a good little counter to losing the Coffs game in a way. That'll be good for travelling fans or people who can't really get to many games. The Bunnies, again, I have no read on them, so I'm not sure where they're going to be, let alone that far into the season.
Okay, then 8 days later, we are back home, a 4 o'clock free-to-air game against the Cowboys at Shark Stadium, round 22. That's your classic afternoon game in winter for you, Josh, which is beautiful. And I don't mind that one at all, that time of it. And I think you'll see here with the last 6 or 7 games, you see a bit of a trend here, guys and girls. So stay tuned to what we're going to tell you. Then we roll into Saturday, round 23, the second biggest game of the year, and that is the Dragons away game. It's at Cogra, so you just want to take some extra cleanser and just make sure that you're aware that you're going to Cogra. We spent 2 years there. It was the worst 2 years of our life, and we're going back to beat them again, round 23. And we haven't spoken about it, Josh, because I'm not allowed to talk about it much, but one of their new recruits is, a former love. He's already in the colours. I saw him in the colours this week. It disturbed me down to my bones. And they're probably not going to have a good halves combination, but the team will be improved from this year, you'd think. But I don't mind that. I don't mind around 23 at Stinky Cogra.
Yeah, it's a pretty stock standard for the derbies. We get one at the start of the year, one near the end. So I like that. I like that split because if there's a bit of form change over that, you can see different kind of performances and see maybe a different squad depending on injuries and form and what have you. I think the Dragons, as typical, will probably start on fire and then fade away into nothingness as they typically have. And that, I know we didn't mention it before, but that Val in that red V is going to make me sick. And I'll unfortunately want to see him have 2 real bad games this year.
He's already got the polo. He's got the polo on. There was a new recruits photo, and
how bad was that?
Yeah, our friend Kieran sent it to me, knowing that it would shake me up, and it really did. My day was ruined. Didn't eat for a few hours, which is unlike me. And this is the life he's chosen. He's chosen. It's his choice, and he's a Cogra boy. So you go do that, man. Now. We go to round 24, 3 o'clock Saturday, Josh. Back to the 3 o'clock Saturdays. Shark Stadium. Titans come to town. You never know what you're going to get with the Titans. It could be an 18-19 loss or win, or it could be a 50-0 win to the Sharks. I mean, Titans, they're always the team that you think will probably do better than what they do, or they should do better than what they do, and they don't. Who knows what this year will bring. They have been improving though, but again, we're not talking about a title contender here, and you'll see that trend in the run home. So everyone freaking out about the start of the season being so tough and on the road against pretty good teams. The run home, like we've known, maybe not this year, but definitely a couple of years before that, it's not the hardest. So we'll take that one. Then we got the bye, Josh, in round 25. So we got Dragons, we got Cowboys at home, Dragons away across the bridge, Titans at home, bye in round 25, and that's really cool. Like, because then they still have 2 more games. So it's not like bye finals or bye last game. There's a couple of games to get ready. So bye in round 25, round 26, Sunday 2:00. Knights are coming to town. Could be a tight contest given what happened last year, but very winnable game, which I love. It'll be physical. But then we have the last round of the regular season. Certainly not the last time we're going to play this season coming, but the last game of the regular season, a 7:35 kickoff on a Saturday night at Homebush against the Bulldogs with their fancy new nice retro logo. As you pointed out, Josh, and I'm giving you all the credit here, we're playing on a Saturday the week before the finals. So whether it's extra day, however you want to look at it, it's not the Sunday 4:00. It's not the Sunday 2:00. It's the Saturday 7:30. So just a bit more time to rehab and rest up, which I like.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think it's the last 2 or 3 years we've had that Sunday game, which is it's just frustrating. A team that you know is probably going to make the finals, and you're putting them on the last slot, giving you that extra day is crucial. Like, they can do so much with a day, even if it's just a rest day. I think, like I said, like what you said earlier, the important thing is those last 6 weeks we don't leave Sydney. That is crucial for travel. Like, we do a lot of that hard travel in the start of the year when the boys will be fresh anyway. It's the back end of the year where you want to do as little as possible, and that we don't leave, which I think is really important. With that bye, I think that's the best bye slot you can have. Like you said, the 2 games instead of 1 or none before finals.
Yep.
I don't think you could have asked for any better. So that finish of the year is really, it's going to be crucial, but I think it's really great for the whole side.
So really, to me, when I'm just looking at that, I mean, I haven't studied it for very long. It's only an hour or 2 after the draw's been released. But when I look at that draw, I think, okay, challenging start due to the travel more than anything. Not so much the teams necessarily, but the travel is a bit of a challenge. But we have seen in the Fitzgibbon era that the boys like to travel. They win on the road. Was it the year before last when we had that Cowboys game that no one expected us to win in Townsville, and we won that one? And obviously, it's the Melbourne game. Like, there's lots of examples. But they seem to not be affected by the road. Now, whether they're affected by this much road, only time will tell. But once that kind of finishes up around round 10, it's pretty manageable, especially with origin buys, your own buys, etc. I don't think it's a outrageously difficult draw, and I particularly like the last quarter of it, to say the least.
Excuse me. I think I would probably rather it this way than the other way of, doing all the travel and the hard teams at the end of the year. I think the middle of the year is where you want those games where we had it last year when we did that Roosters, Broncos, Melbourne, all those.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a similar kind of run there in the middle. I think there's like a Roosters Storm, like something like that in the middle, which is a good test. We go like Dragons, Broncos, Melbourne, Dolphins, Roosters. Like, that's a good little mid-season test, but it's not out of this world.
Yeah.
And you just get sprinklings of that throughout the year, which is what I'm taking from the draw just at kind of first glance, and only an hour or so after. And the finish is what I'm most excited about, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because either way, it puts you in a good spot. If you've had a great season, then happy days, let's shoot for top 2 or whatever. If you've dropped a few and you're 7th or 8th, it's a good chance to put your foot down and potentially go for that 4th spot. So we're aiming pretty high this year. Already under injury issues with Toby Rudolph. What are your thoughts on that? Got any thoughts on Toby missing the first 4 weeks?
It's frustrating that it happened in such a, lackadaisical way, just surfing. Like the guy's getting bashed, every week for 25 weeks a year, and it's kind of fine. And then he like falls off a surfboard into water and does something. You know what I mean? Like
Gotcha.
it doesn't really make sense. But I mean,
So you don't have a problem with him surfing. It's more you're like,
no,
what?
not
You got
really.
injured?
Like,
Yeah, I gotcha.
Like
gotcha.
it's kind of annoying, but he could have done that anywhere, right? He could have slipped in the shower, or he could have, whatever.
Yep.
So you can't not live your life because you're worried about getting injured. That's no way to live, and I think it would make them worse players and worse people. So whatever, it happens. It is frustrating. Like it's kind of a dumb way to get hurt, but it happens.
How do you think it's going to affect us?
Honestly, Sam, I don't think that much. He was probably struggling to make my bench. Like he had a very indifferent season for me. Like I thought he had some patches where he was outstanding, but I think most of that season he was pretty lackluster.
But hang on. You said he was maybe going to struggle to make your bench. See, I've got him on my bench.
Yeah.
I don't have him starting, but you're saying maybe not.
Well, see, this is the thing. When you get injured like this, you give someone else an opportunity to take your spot when you're not cemented. Yeah. Not an Adam Nrl Blake, right? So, like, if someone comes in and does a great job, he may find it hard to get back in, pending injuries and form. Like,
interesting.
I'm just of the opinion there's a lot of good guys coming through. Like when Jesse Colquhoun's come back, Tukes, Yeah,
Adam but let's not forget that Jesse won't be there.
Of course, but I'm saying like that end of year, like that mid to end year, he'll be ready to go again.
Yeah,
and obviously that's not the first 4 weeks, but there's enough guys there that will be knocking on the door like Tukes, and Oregon's going to start. Hamlin Ueli's going to get a full preseason in. And then Atkinson's going to be pushing for a bench spot. All of a sudden, those spots are, starting to dry up.
Yeah, so I think it's at this stage, depending on form, preseason form, injuries, I think you're possibly looking at a Tuku on the bench, or perhaps, it's only perhaps, the Puru brother comes in and has an amazing off-season, amazing trials, and Fitzy goes, all right, you're our fourth forward or third forward, whatever it's going to be. I think that if someone else goes down from the middle, or if Hamlin Welly's not ready, I'm not suggesting he won't be, but if he wasn't, then I think we got a problem.
Yeah, I think maybe the last season it would have been more of a problem. I think with Adam Nrl Blake there, he's going to chew into a lot of minutes of those guys, like someone spot, right? He's going to probably play 20 minutes more of really high quality that Toby or Oregon weren't giving us. So we had to find those minutes elsewhere. So I think it's not going to be a problem if Adam Nrl Blake's playing 55, 60 minutes every week. Toby might have only been playing 15 to 20 anyway, which is not the end of the world if we got to give Tukes that spot, or we got to give a kid a go. Like, I'm not overly concerned just because of that factor.
Now, John's birthday is 20th of June, which is when we're in Melbourne. So hopefully they can get a win for John. Thanks for tuning in, John. Appreciate it. There is a bunch of people jumping in and out of the episode, which is great. This will be a podcast episode later on. And Josh and I just having a bit of fun talking about the draw. We are Sharkcast Pod, and we're on all the socials. We're on the podcasts. We're on the YouTubes. Follow us, like us, yada, yada, yada. Now, Josh, we want to talk a little bit about the NRLW because we love NRLW, despite rumors out there that we don't. And there is extra teams this year, Josh. There's the Bulldogs and the Warriors, so that's pretty cool. Slowly getting more and more teams involved. Sharks made the grand final last year in just the second season, which was an amazing achievement. And let's take a look at their draw. They start on a Thursday night, 3rd of July, at Shark Park against the Eels. 7:45 kickoff. And if you bear with me for 1 sec, it's a standalone game at Shark Park. So, I like that. They go to Canberra. No, the venue is TBA. I've got to apologise. They play Canberra, 4th of July, round 2. Canberra showed some improvement this year as well. Saturday, 5:15 p.m. against the Cowboys at Shark Park. 5:15 p.m. Saturday 19th of July. Again, crisp weather there, loving it. Round 3. Round 4 at Shark Stadium, Sunday 6:15 p.m. Josh, I don't mind that either. West Tigers come to town. Want some revenge against West Tigers? Remember that game last year, Josh? It was the last regular season round, I believe, and it was diabolical. And we need revenge on that game. And I'm sure that the women will be feeling the same way. Round 5, which I believe is Magic Round for NRLW. I believe that's right. We play 4:15 p.m. in Newcastle against Brisbane. It's a Brisbane home game in Newcastle. Then round 6, local derby time, 9th of August, away at Cogra. So make sure you got your extra cleanser and everything when you go there. Round 7, we play the Titans at Shark Stadium Saturday, 12:45 p.m. All of these games are on 9. They're all on KO. Some are on Foxtel. Always best when you're there, though, if you can get there. Now, for the first time ever, Warriors NRLW versus Sharks NRLW, Sunday, 24th of August in Auckland, Josh, at their stadium. So that's exciting. Round 9, Shark Park, 11:50 kickoff, Sunday, 31st of August against the Newcastle Knights. That was a tasty game last year. And for the first time ever, including some ex-Sharks, I want to say, round 10 at Homebush, Saturday, 6th of September, we play the Bulldogs. And we finish with a venue TBA on a Thursday night, the 11th of September, against the Roosters, an away game. So that's the NRLW draw. They're under some pressure to have another great year. Great year last year. Who knows? A few more minutes in that grand final. Maybe they get the job done. But exciting day, Josh. NRLW's out. NRL. We got the preseason. Origin is announced for both women and men. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts? What's going on?
Yeah, just the rugby league world. Just it never stops, does it, Sam? I mean,
It doesn't.
a month or so into the off season, and we're already talking about it again and getting excited and making plans. And the cricket hasn't even started yet. I mean, we've got the whole test summer to get through. So I'm looking to probably decompress from rugby league a little bit and try and enjoy the cricket and try and get the miss it a little bit. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard to get away from the rugby league on the socials and the friends groups always talking about it. So I'll try and decompress from footy a little bit to build that excitement. And once I see AFB maybe in the Sharks kit again, it'll all ramp up. And when the boys are back in preseason training, which I think shouldn't be too much longer, right?
You're not going to have much time to decompress. Let's just say we'll give you this week to decompress. So after this is the end of your season, and your new season will probably start next week when I bug you to do a podcast. So just to go over what Josh said, Sharkcast Pod's not going anywhere. We've got heaps of episodes coming up over the spring and summertime, so do not go anywhere. And Josh will be on those, whether he's decompressing or not. It'll be like Han Solo. We'll get him out of the thing.
Carbonite.
Yes. So, exciting times. Are you going to make a prediction, Josh? We'll come back to it, but just give us your first prediction. We'll call it end of season for you, start of next year. Where are we going to finish? What's going to happen? How's the season going to pan out?
I think it's going to be a really, really good season. I have, maybe in a bad way, have very high expectations. I think this is the squad and this is the time to do it. With some of the sides around us weakening, getting older, we're in prime time right now. I expect, probably at minimum, I'm expecting and want a grand final appearance.
Ooh.
I couldn't tell you who we're going to play, though, if we were to make it. I don't know.
Okay.
You'd hazard that it would probably be Melbourne. There's my gut feeling at the start. I think a rematch of 2016 is
I agree.
What I'm thinking.
I agree. If we were to get there and... There's no... I realised this when I was sitting in the crowd for the prelim. When you get to this point, there's no good feeling. Like, even if you're 2016 Sharks, you're still not feeling good going into a prelim against whoever. Like, you're just not, because as you said before, something like, I've got high expectations, and you said something about, good or bad or whatever. The bad is, they don't win, and then all that hope is broken your heart, and it's all been a waste. But yeah, you get to that point, Josh, whoever we play in the grand final, if we play someone in the grand final, it doesn't matter who it's going to be. It could be Melbourne, that's tough. It's Penrith, it's tough. It's Manly, we can't beat Manly. Like, there's always going to be a storyline about someone, within reason, you'd think. So, but I hear you, and I expect a really good season. I think it's top 4 for sure. How we get there, I'm not sure. Like, maybe it's a slower start than past Craig Fitzgibbon seasons, and maybe some of the travel affects them. Maybe they drop a game here or two. But I think that we need to stop being, as a fan base, on the negative side and just look at the team we've got. And even if you're not overly confident in, and I'll pull a name out of a hat, in the fullback, we've been top 4 for 2 out of the past 3 years. 3 years made finals. Like, we're a good team. So I think we need to stop worrying so much about other teams, and we need to worry about ourselves. And that's the reason I think we'll be top 4. Again, I don't know how we'll get there, whether it'll be a great start and then just throughout, or if it'll be a slow start, great finish. I mean, there could be lots of scenarios. Maybe it's a great start, bad finish, which I don't really see happening. But I think we'll be top 4. I'd love top 2. And I do think that it's got to be prelim or bust. I'm not going to say grand final or bust. In my heart, I believe grand final or bust. In my head, given how hard it is to do these things in reality, I'm going to say prelim or bust. And yeah, you see what happens when you get that far into the comp. I want to see what people's expectations are of us, Josh. I think that with Fanua Blake coming, there's a bit of respect coming, but also it's Cronulla. Therefore, it's, they can't win finals games, or their home ground sucks, or whatever it is. There's always some sort of negative from fan bases, certain media outlets, etc. But I want to see what people think, because I think the Cowboys win in the semi-final kind of helped us. I really do. I think Trindle's rise to prominence has helped us. It's not just the Nico show. That's a whole other storyline. Nico's, how he's going to go, etc. So plenty to talk about. That's why you're not going to have too much of a break, Josh. This is your break. I'm warning you. This is your... We'll put you in the chamber, and then in about a week, we'll get Princess Leia and Chewie and Luke to get you out. And then we'll go after that Lando Calrissian. NRLW, what are your thoughts there? Do you think they can do what they did this year? Like, such an amazing start?
The most inspiring thing for me is that Jada should be coming back and play a part in the season. I'm not sure how she's tracking. She did it quite early in the year, so you'd think she'd be there or thereabouts for the start of the year.
Yeah,
which is
start
really
of their
exciting,
season, which is
which is July. So
yeah,
that's a big. I think as well, just exciting for the league that another 2 teams, another 2 rounds. Like all of a sudden, it's getting to that. It's now half a season of the men's.
Yeah,
which 2 years ago it was 6 games or something. Like, it was.
Well, I think to start with, was there 4 teams in the first season?
Yeah,
maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, like, just to see that development, the skill improving, we're going to see in 20 years the fruits of our labor of investing in this in 10 and 15 years, when this is this is the staple. We're going to see the skill and the execution and the fitness just take another level, and it's exciting to be at the start of this. What people would have been like to watch the development of league in the 60s and 70s, and it's that professionalism. I'm excited to be a part of this journey now, and having a good team and having a bunch of good girls there that I just want to win. And that's I think the most exciting part for me. And we're a good destination club at the moment, men and women. Like, it's a good place to be. It's a good place to live, and we're successful. And I think that will continue, hopefully, for the girls as well.
And it has to be pointed out, great rep seasons for both men and women.
Yes.
Postseason in the respective games they played. So that's always a positive, with a shorter turnaround to preseason and then into trials next year. So that's a big bonus. Hey, Josh, we're going to get out of here.
Sione.
Sione He's maligned by some. I'm not going to say he's by all. Like, I mean, I'll go on record and say he was our former winger of the year. So you can't do better than that, right?
No, I know I'm biased. I just love the guy, and I think he's great, and I think he proved it on a big stage.
You are biased, but he did prove it on a big stage, and he's doing just great. And there's 3 wingers that go into 2, and that's not really his problem. His problem is to go out there and do the best he can, and what will be will be. The problem is for the fans and for the media and for the podcasters and everyone else to have the debate. And I don't even think there's a great disrespect there for him. I think it's more, you might be a Ronaldo guy, you might be a Stone Street guy.
Yep.
There are other people like you and me who are well, me in particular, I like all 3 of them. You're potentially a Katoa guy than the rest, but yeah, a lot of great storylines. Again, this is why you can only decompress for one. This is it. 1 week and then you're back. We'll be back soon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it. These live ones are always a bit of a challenge for us to do with tech and with the Wi-Fi and with throwing up the comments, but we appreciate you all. That's for sure. If you're listening on the podcast version of this, then thanks for tuning in. As always, do not go anywhere. If you've missed some of the stream, you can go back and watch it at some point really soon. I'll just have to upload it. If you want to listen on the audio, that'll be a bit later on. So we'll talk to you real soon, sooner than you think, most likely. Appreciate everyone being in touch. Enjoy the draw. Go book your hotels. Go book your plane tickets, your bus tickets, your train tickets. Get your car ready, and we'll see you out on the road, and we'll definitely see you down at Sharks Stadium until we talk to you again very, very soon. This has been Sharkcast Pod. That's Josh Bolling. I'm Sam Shinazi, and this is Sharkcast Pod. And as always, we got 1 word for you. We got 2 words for you. We got 3 words for you with some exclamation marks. Up, Cronulla.